Hello and welcome to the first ever video on my channel. And for that, we obviously need to drop the best banger ever. So we're going to be doing World 4 Heroic with no armor. Now, this might seem really hard, but I have a key strategy. We're going to be abusing the most slept on and most broken sword in the entire game. It's epic rarity, and that sword is the Echo of the Slain. Now, this ability is really overpowered. Basically, what it does is it takes you to another dimension where enemies can't target you or hit you, but you take damage over time. So the strategy is going to be trying to gain a lot of lifesteal and just whipping them in this little special soul realm. It's really overpowered, and I think we can do it. So let's get into our first run. Now, for your convenience, I'm going to put the video in 1.5 times speed just so it goes by a little faster because this took a while. But even with that, I just want the first video to be a great video. So our strategy was, in the beginning, taking out as many small enemies as we could. Because they drop spirits, the only way we could heal. Obviously, the less enemies there are, the better. And I also wanted to make sure every time we saw lifesteal on the ability selection, we automatically pick it. It needs to be prioritized. Another great one would be spirit capacity. Any element except maybe frost, but frost in worst case scenario can work. And that was the entire strategy. I didn't need any stamina whatsoever. Now, would it be helpful? Yes, but what the ability does is it just drains your stamina completely. And even if you are at 0 stamina, you still don't leave the soul realm. So stamina wasn't really a necessary need, as it usually is in most runs. Another thing I wanted to try to do was also use the ability on these big guys, because I didn't want to risk any damage being taken, or huge chunks of damage being taken, because obviously almost everything here can one-shot me, with me only having about 150 HP throughout the entire run. I think I peaked at maybe 250 or something. You do not get any HP without armor. So armor in the game is super important. But as you see, we got a second lifesteal. We were doing super good in this run. See, getting those vampires because they suck. Now, another thing I wanted to try to do always was hide behind little walls so I could reset the damage tick, because every time you leave and enter back into the spirit realm, it completely resets the ramp up damage for the tick. So if I say pop the ability and it hits about maybe 4 HP per second, I can leave and go back in the spirit realm and it be reduced back to 0.5. So another thing I wanted to try and do was just go in and out and in and out, making sure that the tick damage always stayed decently low, or my lifesteal could at least outdo the damage I'm taking. But now we've reached the first boss, and the strategy here was to play it normal, because the first boss is honestly really easy. All you needed to do was really get rid of his shield, and then as soon as we get rid of his shield, I want to pop the ability and just shred him down, because when I'm in the spirit realm, he obviously won't hit me. And so right here, you can see we're absolutely tearing through him, and he's gone. That was heroic mode, by the way. Just shows you how overpowered this sword is. And now entering chapter 2, there's a lot more tiny enemies, a lot more vampires, and a new enemy, the tree. Now these trees, if I come out of the spirit realm, near them, they'll spawn more enemies, which is just a bigger inconvenience, because I'll have to stay in the spirit realm for longer, taking them out. Which we obviously don't want to do, because we lose HP, and we don't want to lose HP. But even with that, we were doing amazing. I almost couldn't believe the pacing I was on, because World 2 was getting shredded through. We were doing a great job, and this was our first attempt, so it was just surprising to see that we could get this far. But all good things must come to an end, sadly. And I did die in this room, which really sucked, because our pacing was, again, insane, dude. And it just really sucked to lose this run to a vampire. But the sad thing is I just kept dying and dying and dying over and over again. I couldn't catch a break no matter what I did. So I had an idea to just tally up the amount of deaths I had. Starting off with obviously the first 3 and skipping ahead to the 4th. That took a while, but 4 deaths, and then 5, and then we hit 6. Now, this 6th death was a changing point, because I had died so many times, and I'd already spent about 25, 30 minutes trying to do this challenge, and dying before I could even get to the 2nd boss. But it was this run, the 7th run, where I started to make significant progress and do something I thought I never would. We get to the first boss, and we kill him relatively easy. Just like last time, just shredding down his shield HP before we go back into the spirit realm and just take him out. But World 2 is where I did the unspeakable. And as I ventured through Chapter 2, I end up losing and dying to, I think, another vampire. But I buy a revive, which is something I really didn't want to do, but I felt like was just a necessity because I had already spent a good while and I really wasn't thinking it through. But I do eventually end up dying and accumulating my 7th death. Now, after dying 7 times, you do get a little bit tilted, but I was going to push through. I defeated room after room after room after room. And as we got to the first boss, I was feeling confident. I couldn't lose. I knew I couldn't. I had to beat World 3. And so the Gatekeeper, as I've explained the first 2 times, get rid of his shield, go into the spirit realm, and finish him off, which we executed perfectly. And his shield disappears, and we slowly chip his health down and take out the first boss. And now we go to Chapter 2, which we also absolutely destroyed. We also got Flame 3, Lifesteal 2, and Lifesteal 3. This run was going great. I don't think there was another thing I could have asked for. We had been getting great selections, and we had gone straight through Chapter 1, and we were just about to beat Chapter 2. And with a cheese strategy, we end up beating the Chapter 2 boss and reaching our brand new personal best, Chapter 3. Now this was a significant ramp up in difficulty, with there being a new type of enemy, the Moon Witch. And their ability is whoever is in their circle will heal health gradually over time, and they have their own attack where anybody around them is pushed back and they send out a floating eye, which made these witches a priority to take out because we would have to spend more time in the spirit realm attacking the enemies within that witch's circle, which we obviously, again, don't want. So as you see here, I prioritize that witch, go for the cannon, and take out this guardian. After the room, we get the best pull possible, Lifesteal 4, which is arguably the best upgrade for this strat because now we don't have to worry about ever leaving the spirit realm half as quick because our lifesteal will make the spirits heal us about 30 HP, which is a 1/7 of our max HP. And this ramp up damage can barely keep up with us healing tons and tons of HP. And as we approach the final room, I have a feeling that this run is the run. We are so close to the boss. We can't fail now. And so I have to lock in. We slowly chip out everything, take out the vampire, reset the ramp up damage, and we start taking out these big guys. Now, these little enemies have almost doubled in amount since we reached Chapter 2, which is a big annoyance because I have to leave and enter the Spirit Realm a lot more than I usually would. But, inconvenience or not, we had to beat this chapter. And with this final enemy being killed, we get Flame 4. Now, Flame 4 is going to absolutely shred through this final boss, giving us the biggest opportunity we could possibly have. As we enter the room, I take out the first hand, and then I jump over to the other side and take out the second hand. Now, already being in the Spirit Realm, I start hitting the boss and bring it down to half HP before I re-enter and completely go through his HP, making him seem like one of the easiest bosses. As he enters stage 2, we again take out the left hand, and then we have to take out the right. Now, he's so low already, so this should not be a problem. And so, as we slowly chip down his health, we inch closer and closer to victory, solidifying ourselves as the first victor of World 4 Heroic with no armor. Hey, just wanted to say thank you for watching the whole video. Comment down any other challenge ideas you have, and thanks for watching.